Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Selena Valentine, founder of HypnoBiz, and we are interviewing our HypnoBiz New York presenters for the 2020 conference, which is May 29th to the 31st in Times Square, New York City. So please welcome back my favorite person to interview, Jim Kellner.
Hey, Selena. Hey, everybody.
Great to see you. So tell us about that background going on. What's the weather like where you're from? I see the windows.
I feel like I'm in New York or something. It's snowing. Ugh. I mean, Seattle's cold enough. I don't want snow. It's awful. Yeah.
Is it snowing? Is it a snowstorm? When did it snow? What's happening? It looks like it's something interesting out there.
Well, it was a little bit of a storm that came through, I guess, but I get we're supposed to get a little bit more over the next few days. I hate it. I don't like that. I'm not
but you're used to it, right?
Not snow. I don't like it.
You're like, no winter wonderland for me. Well, the great thing is when you come to New York in May, it's going to be sunny.
Yeah, better be.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why we moved it to the end of May, because you're like guaranteed to have like warm weather. Sometimes in the beginning of May, it could, sometimes be like 50s or 60s, but definitely at the end of May, it's like 60s, 70s. So we're expecting like great weather. With all the hypnotists, we're going to use our mind power to send out to Mother Nature to make sure it's perfect on each day. You see how that works?
Damn right. Damn right.
So you are returning, which I'm so thrilled about, because not only do I think you're just so positive and fun, but you're also really knowledgeable about taking your practice online. So tell everybody why it's important to take their practice online.
I'll tell you, the reason that I started was kind of selfish. It was because I wanted to be able to, because I'm a stage hypnotist and a speaker, so I wanted to be able to work with clients even when I'm on the road. And so it was sort of selfish reasons. And I kind of fell into it because I had some clients that wanted to see me while I was out of town. And I was like, well, we can do this. And what I've come to find out, Selena, is that it's actually an advantage to the clients as well. Mm-hmm. And the one of the big things was I was working like just recently with a client who had anxiety, really bad anxiety, and we were doing some sessions. He needed an emergency session, and like if I was nowhere near where like I would have an office at. So it was like if I was seeing him in person, I would have had to refer him to somebody else, or he'd just have to suffer, until I got back. Mm-hmm. So we got that. And then also, especially like if you're like in New York or Seattle or someplace where there's a lot of traffic, wow, it's a nightmare to drive to appointments and stuff like that. So they get to just sit in their own home, they relax. Honestly, I think a lot of people are more comfortable that way because, what's the greatest fear people have about hypnotists? We're going to make them do stuff they don't want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So which is ridiculous. We all know we can't really do that. But so if I'm 1,000 miles away or 5,000 miles away, what can I do? Mm-hmm. So a lot of good reasons to take the practice online. Plus, you save overhead, so your client saves money. And I love it. It's all my clients are online now. Occasionally I'll get one that wants to see me in person, and they just charge an extra fee for that, and it works out for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's so important what you said, especially, for new hypnotists that are just starting out. Usually when you rent an office, they want, first month's rent, security. Oh, yeah. You have to sign an annual lease. It's your new business. So you don't really know. You want to say, okay, it's going to work out, but you don't really know how fast or how soon you're going to get clients that's going to cover that overhead. So especially for the new hypnotist that's jumping into our profession, you want to keep your expenses as low as possible, and you want to keep your exposure, to a minimum. So that way you don't have some lease that you're locked into for a year that you have to pay no matter what. Your landlord wants that check no matter what. He doesn't care, or she doesn't care whether you had a client or if you had a slow week or if you had a slow month, and you don't want to put yourself in that compromising position.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things that held me back for years on launching a practice, because, I'd look at spaces and go, I don't know, am I going to get enough clients in to do this? And I talked to other people. There's still a lot of people out there. hypnotists and clients alike that think, well, but can hypnosis really work at a distance? And I'm like, it's not massage.
Yeah.
I'm not over there massaging your shoulders. It's a talk-based thing. So of course it works. And the other thing that I want to tell people too, one of the things that I've found, because I've done some videos that attracted a lot of attention. So I've got connections like all over the world. And that's the way it kind of works. People become connected to certain people. You start doing some videos or Facebook posts, and they kind of get connected to you. So they want to work with you. So you're giving people I've worked with people in France, Australia, New York, from the West Coast. Why should they be denied the right to work with world-renowned hypnotist Jim Kellner just because we're not close?
That's right. Exactly. People want access to you that don't live close to you or live around the world.
Yeah.
And this is the next best thing. And like you said, it's not massage where it's a physical, type of modality. I mean, people do Reiki. They do distance healing Reiki over the internet. So you can definitely, have a session and do a session virtually. And I think what's great about your presentation and why every hypnotist, or life coach or therapist should attend is because you may not know the technology that you need to actually make it work. I think a lot of hypnotists are like, okay, well, how do I do that? What software do I use? What microphone? What this? What that? What camera? Whatever. And I know that you're going to give them all the tools that they need so they could get set up and running quickly.
Yeah, and I actually talked to them about, from the bare bones stuff that you can start off with, up to, getting more advanced and everything. But I mean, really, you can start with just a cell phone, maybe a Bluetooth or something, or a wired microphone. I mean, it really is just so inexpensive. I talk about some of the online tools that are available as far as scheduling and taking money, and a lot of those they have a free tier, so it's not going to cost you anything there. I also talk about some of the things. One of the concerns or many of the concerns that some hypnotists have is, well, what do I do if I want to do anchoring? Like an NLP type anchoring. What do I do if I want to, get a variety of different things, or if I'm doing past life stuff, or what if there's an ab reaction? And I talk about all that stuff. So I allay all of your fears. And really, by the time, class is at 8, it'll be over at 10. By 10:01, you can be taking clients right away. So schedule those appointments. I mean,
exactly.
after the whole day, of course. I mean,
and knowing which scheduler to use, so that way you're not like all discombobulated where you're like, do I have a 2 o'clock or a 3 o'clock? Some people don't know which software to use. That's simple, easy to set up all your appointments like online that can sync with your calendar or whatever. So what I learned for sure starting up my practice is much easier to accomplish your goals and what you want to do to become successful in your practice when you have a mentor, or if you have a teacher showing you the tools of the trade, instead of all this trial and error that can take you forever. Some things, when they say cheap is expensive, when you're trying to do it all on yourself on the cheap, you actually suffer a bigger price because you buying stuff you don't need, you're wasting time and energy, when someone can just show you and say, this is what you need, this is what you do, here's a consultation, I'll walk you through it or whatever. And that is what's going to happen in your class. Like, and for everybody that's watching, remember this. If you remember anything from this interview, cheap is expensive. When you try to cut corners and not spend for what you know you need, you actually end up paying the price even more. So invest in yourself. Remember, you're not just spending money on things, you're actually investing in yourself. You're investing in your career. You're investing in your future. And if you're not willing to do that, you just will not be successful.
You know what, Selena, that is such a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. When I first started doing online sessions, I was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't know anybody that was doing it. I mean, there was, I'm sure, but I didn't know anybody. I had no idea. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out. And then I've investigated like each of those schedulers. I've tried several of them out. I've tried different equipment. Believe me, I've spent way more than the 2 hours you're going to spend in class getting all the information. And I've made a lot of mistakes, and I can talk about those, in class, and I do, and things to avoid. And it's funny you talk about this, that cheap is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I was helping a friend move just this last weekend, and she told me that she was actually she'd hired professional movers to move the heavy stuff. And I was like, whoa, well, you must be doing all right. It was only a couple $100 to have these guys come out for 2 hours and move all this heavy stuff. Not only that, I'm amazed at this, Selena. I had no idea. So there's on the back of the couch, and a lot of couches, if you see there's like a little flap on the back that flips up. I had no idea. There's like a way you can pull that up and you can detach the top of the couch from the rest of the couch.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yeah, because I moved.
I've always done it the hard way. I had no idea it comes off. I was like, that's worth $200 knowing right there if I ever have to move a couch.
Exactly.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Just pop it right off, and then it was amazing.
And then
so
it's easier to get in the truck. It's easier to get into your apartment. It's easier to get into the elevator. Like if you're in an apartment building, like most people are in New York City, instead of you trying to have this big clunky one unit, these things pop off now.
I had no idea. So, I mean, wow, it's just such a great example of that, and how much is your time worth? If you're going to spend, you're going to spend 10 hours researching all this stuff when you can come to class for a couple hours and learn it all. How much money did you just lose? Really? You really lost a lot of money. I mean, how much is your time worth?
That is such an important point that you just mentioned. Time is everything. This is what wealthy people do. Let me tell you something about wealthy people, because I'm around wealthy people all day. That's my circle in New York. I know how they operate and move at the country club. What's most important to wealthy people is their time. They pay for people to do things for them, whether that's house cleaning. Most every wealthy person I know has a housekeeper. They're not cleaning up their own house. They have baby nurses. When they have a baby, you think they want to stay up all night with a crying baby? No, they do not. You know why? They have drivers, because they value their time. Their time is so important to them, because that's all we have. We have a finite number of hours on this earth. And the more time that you have to do what you want, to be, what you want, to have what you want, the better off you are. And that's what wealthy people do. They pay people to do all these things so that they have more time for themselves.
What a great point. And I got to tell you, it's if you think about it, if you hire someone to come in and clean, maybe it costs you $25 an hour, $50 an hour or something. They're going to do it faster. Probably. They're probably going to do it better. And how much could you be making? $200-$300 an hour? You're literally losing money by not hiring someone to do that. Or how much is your time worth with your family? That kind of a thing. I remember I was working with a client one time. He was a brand new dad and he was losing his mind. He had no time to go to the gym because there's all kinds of cleanup to do. And he was a stay-at-home dad and everything. And I said, how about hiring a housekeeper? And he's not wealthy. He's just like, middle class. And he was like, oh, and it was he was kind of like, oh, am I rich enough for that? I'm like, it's probably $25 an hour. Literally here in Seattle, probably $25 an hour. You get somebody come in and clean 2 or 3 hours a week. And it was an eye-opening thing for him. Definitely.
Yeah, really amazing. And you're also teaching a workshop. So tell everyone what you're teaching and why it's so important for them to be there.
Are you talking about the smoking one?
Yes.
Are we still talking about? Yes. Awesome. So I'm teaching. I don't know. Is the schedule up for post yet? Because I couldn't find it.
It will be in the next few days.
Okay. So I know it's on Monday, but so it's called the Confident Stop Smoking Hypnotist, and the reason I call it that is because, well, number one, I think that. Honestly, the most important thing to being a hypnotist is just confident in your ability to hypnotize people, because it doesn't matter what induction you use. I know we have all these fancy inductions and stuff, but I tell you what, you can leave out huge chunks of an induction. You can you do all kinds of crazy stuff. And as long as you have confidence, it'll almost always work anyway. I ran into so many hypnotists along the way that were either scared to even start working with smokers, or they'd worked with smokers and they weren't doing them anymore because they weren't successful. And as I start talking to them, and my system is it's 3 sessions. It's the one that I learned and I've refined over the years. And I know there's a lot of popularity with the one and done type of thing, and I'm all for that. But if you've taken one of the one and done classes and you do one hypnosis session on somebody and they don't quit, you think you failed. I just don't see how every single human being is different. So I don't know that every single person is going to quit in one session. And so I'm really a big believer in, let's just do 3 and just make sure. I guarantee for life, I do 3 sessions. I do more if necessary. Sometimes I do have to do more. Sometimes I do a refresher. But the thing is, when you come to this class, you're going to leave feeling a lot more confident about working with smokers, knowing what to say when they don't quit, because sometimes they don't. I'm world-renowned hypnotist Jim Kellner. And sometimes they don't quit. Sometimes they start back. That's just the way it goes. And once you find out how to deal with those kind of things, you'll have a lot more success. Your confidence is going to rise, and you can help so many people, because it's such a horrible addiction. My mom passed away last year from smoking related causes.
Sorry.
And so I'm really fired up about just helping everybody just quit smoking. It's just awful.
It's so true. And I agree 100% what you said. Like, when I was, seeing clients at my office, I would take my stop smoking clients like so seriously. And I would try to do my very best, because unlike, nail biting or whatever else like that, this, addiction can kill you. So we're literally saving lives. So if you look at it that way, you really want to do your best and learn from the best, so you can do your best and be your best, because you're actually going to save someone's life, because cigarettes actually kills people. So look at, a purpose that you can have that's bigger than yourself by learning to be a, confident stop smoking hypnotist.
Yeah. And, okay. So a moment of deep honesty here. I don't like working with smokers. It's not my, I don't, I would, especially when I had an office, because let's face it, they smell bad most of the time. But I was a smoker. I was a smoker for 20 years, and I used hypnosis to quit. And I get where they're coming from. Honestly, smokers sometimes can be big babies, because they're like, well, what if I get a craving? These kind of things. So I don't like. So I didn't want to work with them. And then when my mom started having more trouble, and I learned and developed the system that I had, I just became so committed to. I don't care. So they're not my favorite people to work with, honestly. Just not them personally, but just that thing. But it's so important. We got to help people get off these cigarettes. We really do. We have to. And
now you have more people, because now people are addicted to vaping.
Oh yeah, exactly. And they think it's healthier for them. And it may be better, but it's certainly not the ideal choice. And here's the thing too, and what I tell people is, as long as you're vaping, as long as you're still addicted to nicotine, there's a chance you're going to go back to smoking. So even if it is healthy to be not dangerous to vape, you've always got that chance of a relapse into smoking.
Exactly. So you can help people not to, that's on the vape, or not even go to the vape, just go from cigarettes to off the cigarettes.
People are amazed. I worked with a client with a couple that were in their 70s. They've both been smoking for 50 years. And they thought, we're not going to be able to do it. We're not. And trust me, you'll be able to do it. It's going to be fine. Guaranteed. That's what I tell them. Guaranteed. Okay, it's guaranteed. We'll do it. One session. One session. We could have been done with one session, but nope. I want to make sure. I don't want you guys going back. So it's amazing how well this stuff works. When you do it right, it really is. And like I said, I sometimes have 5 sessions. That's just the way it goes. People are different.
Yeah, the most important is that you have the skills to help them. 3 sessions, 1 session, 6 sessions, doesn't matter, as long as you are helping that person to stop, so that they can live a healthy and prosperous life. That is the most important. And don't count the sessions, just look at the tools and techniques that you're giving this person, so that way they can be non-smokers. So this is Conference Giveaway Tuesday. So every Tuesday when we interview our presenters, you will also receive fun giveaways. So when you attend Jim's workshop, he has a special giveaway, a prize, a bonus for you. So why don't you tell everybody what that is and what they're going to get when they attend your workshop?
Well, they're going to get an MP3 called the Hypnotic Confidence, and I put it together specifically for those hypnotists that they're just not confident. And I get it, especially with smoke. Like I say, like a weight loss client, it's going to take a while for the changes to happen and them to lose weight. With smoking, it's pretty obvious, right? If they're if they light up when they leave your office, they're not a non-smoker. So it's to really help to build your confidence. And I got to tell you again, the more confidence you have, the better success you'll have. And I noticed that especially on stage. When I first started doing shows, I'd get maybe 20 or 30% of the people hypnotized. Now, pretty much everybody that comes up on stage is getting hypnotized. Maybe one or two won't, but for the most part, they're all getting hypnotized. And it really comes down to my confidence and the way I do it. And it's going to also your confidence. I mean, really, it's going to help your selling. I mean, I know we don't like to call it our selling, our sessions, but we do our consultations, our discovery session, whatever. BS, it's a sales call. Call it whatever you want, but it's you want them, and you have to. I'm not saying you shouldn't, because if you're not confident and you can't get them to sign on with you, what's going to happen? They're going to keep smoking. They're going to keep drinking, eating too much, all those things. So I think as long as you are focused on what's good for them, it's not you can let go of that salesy kind of feeling that you get, that kind of gross. So the confidence you're going to get. You're also going to get my 10 marketing tips, which help me to, get a lot of things that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Not just clients, but like I got a TEDx talk without even applying for it. So
wow,
people ask me, how'd you get the TED talk? I have no idea. but these are the things that I do that help me. And then I think probably most importantly, Selena, most importantly of all, you're going to get at least a sticker, a damn I'm pretty sticker. I don't know if you know what it is. That's at least one of these, maybe two. I don't know. I might be feeling generous. I got a new order in. So
I love that. I'm putting all the bonuses up so everyone can see it. So when you attend Jim's Confident Stop Smoking workshop, you will get his MP3 of Hypnotic Confidence. You will get 10 marketing tips. And you'll get a damn I'm pretty sticker. I mean, come on, people. Come on, people.
Priceless right here.
You're crazy. Okay?
Crazy.
Exactly. This is like crazy, insane bonuses. Okay. And be sure to attend his 2-hour presentation, Taking Your Practice Online, because trust me, this is the way of the future, especially if you're a new hypnotist and you don't want to have high expenses, or if you're an established hypnotist that want to downsize and save more of your money, or if you're the hypnotist that want to reach more people than the 5 square blocks where you live. Right. You want to reach people all around the world. This is the way to do it, and Jim will show you how.
Oh, and I forgot. I'm also going to just include my. I have an online version of the class. Take Your Practice Online. So in case you miss anything, it's like 3 hours long. So it's got even, maybe it might even have more information or just presented differently. I sell it for $200. You're going to get that for free too.
How cool is that? I mean, this is a no-brainer.
No-brainer. You got to get up early though. It's 8 a.m. Oh God.
So for everyone that's watching, that love what you're hearing, that want to take Jim's 2-hour presentation and his Take Your Practice Online and his post-conference workshop, which is, becoming a Confident Stop Smoking Hypnotist, you can go to HypnoBizNewYork.com. Okay, it's scrolling on the screen. You can register for that, get all the bonuses. It's May 29th to the 31st. As you all know, Bob Doyle from The Secret movie is our keynote presenter, and Robert G. Smith, creator of Fasta EFT. We have over 50 presenters from all around the world. We're bringing back our Saturday night yacht party along the river, where you get to see the Statue of Liberty. It's going to be dinner. It's going to be dancing. It's right in the heart of Times Square, so it's not far from the suburbs or the airport or anything like that. You can literally walk out of your hotel, go to Central Park. You're going to be in Times Square. So all the fun activities. We have some fun things in store, and we want to see you there. So thank you so much again for joining me, Jim. It's always a pleasure interviewing you.
Can I just say one more thing? I wanted to just say, if you see me at the conference or something, please come up and say hi. And if you're interested in doing some street hypnosis or impromptu hypnosis, connect with me, connect with my British bestie, Grant Saunders, because we're going to be going out in Times Square and hypnotizing people. So if you want to join us, let us know.
I can't wait to see those videos. Be sure to film those videos. I want to see you guys in New York City, and I may even come along because I want to see you guys in New York hypnotizing people on the spot, baby.
Damn right.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Selena.
Thank you.